Why it's so hard to rank up in Valorant? The Valorant rank system is pretty new, but a lot of players complain about it and using the term Elo Hell. Elo Hell is basically when you're hard stuck on a certain rank, and it feels like Riot Games themselves are putting you with bad teammates or smurfing opponents. You feel like you deserve a rank that's higher than what you're in right now. Now you could be right in the fact that there are 4 games where you were match MVP, but over a consistent time period, like a week for example, it really shows if it's really Riot's fault or it's you that's holding you back. I think it's so hard to rank up because there are just so many other players trying to get better. Valorant is such a competitive game, like CS, and if you're not improving yourself, you're almost always going to rank down in a few months. You always need to keep up with the meta, new maps, and agents. You also gotta look at new strategies, and a lot of players don't have the time to do that. Many just play on the weekend, and you need to be consistently playing and trying to improve to get ahead of the curve. A lot are playing comp and doing a couple of death matches, and maybe playing aim lab once in a while. If you're doing the right practice, you will rank up eventually, and chances are after a week of playing, it's probably you that's holding you back. That's not to say that ranking up in Valorant isn't hard however, because generally more than half of the players smurf in the game. Now you might think that's the issue, but you still have a high chance of ranking up if you're really the rank you desire. Smurfs can be on your team as well, and many times you just forget about those games, and remember the games where the enemy Reyna has 40 kills. The chances of smurfs on the enemy team can be 5 people, but the chances of smurfing in your team are 4 people. Now with those percentages, it's not probable that smurfing is the reason that's holding you back. Let's look at toxic players and throwers. You blame your team for quote-unquote Elo Hell. It's not only holding you back, it's why you die more as well. When you start getting tilted due to bad teammates in the beginning of the match, it affects your decision the rest of the match. This will cause you to lose more matches you would have won if you had not given up on your team so early. It's better to think of how you can help your team by giving out good comms, instead of blaming your team and being toxic. This would make the chances of winning even less. This would affect matches after the match, leading to more and more losses. Some players would even throw if someone is toxic. Don't be the toxic player and don't be the thrower. Be the one who is still giving comms. Now there's no really getting around the servers in Valorant, and yes, it's hard, but it's not really the reason you're stuck. Next is because you're just not getting the right practice. I mean, you could be doing an hour of kovacs, the range, and deathmatch, but are you really learning? You might feel like you're improving every day, but you're still hard stuck. You're just practicing to warm up and not practicing to improve. Here's what I mean. In deathmatch, although playing every day is good, you're not focusing on anything in particular. That's why people use it to warm up. You should try to focus on one thing at a time, whether it's crosshair placement, positioning, aim, etc. Don't just go with no goal in mind. Yes, playing every day will improve your skill and map awareness over time, but if you're still building those bad habits like crouching, slow peeking too much, not rotating enough, etc., you should record your gameplay and analyze it. You should look at some of your mistakes and why you die. Most players are just too lazy to do this and hop onto a comp game thinking they'll rank up in the next week. Most players are improving their skill this way as well, so you're probably not getting much ahead of most players in your rank. Finally, there's factors you can't really control, like not having anyone to queue with, not having good internet, not having a good PC setup. All these are outside of your control, and yes, they do significantly help you rank up, but they're not the whole picture. It might be the difference of a gold 3 and a plat 2, or a bronze player to a silver player. So all in all, don't blame your team, don't blame ping or your Wi-Fi, and focus on what you really want to do to improve. Valorant Ranked is a stressful and toxic place, and everyone's just trying to rank up like you, and that's why it's so hard to rank up in Valorant.